We rely on a living, healthy ocean for life on Earth. 70% of the oxygen we breathe is made by phytoplankton in the sea, and that is being diminished by industrial fishing, which contributes directly to marine degradation.
The Children's Fire Project is about putting at the centre of every important meeting, worldwide, wherever, at whatever level, the needs of the seventh generation.
So the Children's Fire is a symbol of the generations to come, and it forces leaders to think about 7 generations into the future when making political decisions. So we want to change decision making. We want to make sure that governments don't make a decision until the needs of the 7 generations in the future have been considered.
We want the Children's Fire to be recognised in the way that the leaders of ancient traditions recognised it. It sat at the centre of important meetings and reminded them that no law or action could take place that would harm the children.
Are you considering the future?
Conscious of our impact.
Fighting for change.
"26 Voices for Change" is an anthology of Cornish writers. It gives voice to 26 people, just as in the English language there are 26 letters in the alphabet, and those voices represent 26 people out of 7.5 billion on the planet. That's how many solutions we need. That's how many voices we need to be heard. And that's why this 26 Voices for Change is just the beginning.
All around the world now there's people calling out. Time to make some changes, time to raise the shouts. Ground, ground, keep it in the ground. You keep your oil cold, boys, keep it in the ground.
How do we see the impacts of climate change on us?
Maybe we've noticed our seasons changing.
Are storms in winter getting worse?
More heat waves in summer.
But few people think about the threat of rising sea levels.
However, the fact is, many of our towns around the coast will be affected.
To consider that some of the spaces we know and use could be under the sea in as little as 9 years is astounding.
We've got to do better if we're going to save the planet.
Do something good for the environment instead of doing bad things, and then we can live. message for adults is you've got to act fast. Us kids have loads of ideas that will help, but the adults just aren't listening.
Time's running out until another species is destroyed. When it's destroyed, maybe we'll be next.
I would like adults to stop thinking about themselves and think about the world and children and animals all around them and stuff like that.
Every single member of society is affected by the climate emergency, and yet not every single person is talking about it.
And those that are talking about it are often not heard. Where are the platforms for ordinary people to shout louder? And who will be listening?
What student wants to go to bed at 7 o'clock? Couldn't even get a basic care package before we even get on to the climate emergency. We're not prepared at all.
Yeah,
it seemed to me.
It was like.
Here at Terra Atuna, we are using waste plastics cleaned from the local beaches surrounding Padstow to make visible the invisible problem of microplastics in our oceans.
We want to show people the transition between plastic as an everyday item into toxic, microscopic particles that are making their way into the ocean and back into our bodies.
That's really precious, and we think that's really important, so you're going to do that with us today, okay? So,
everything here is found on our local beaches. Everything is from local beaches. What we're trying to do... Yeah.
We are advocating for everyone to be a voice at the table. We want to say that if you put those who are vulnerable, including the planet, at the heart of your decision making, then we all benefit from it and can create a more caring, sustainable society for us all.
Can 8 Penzance sea swimmers turn themselves into a planet-protecting synchronised swimming team in 6 weeks? What we're doing is we're demonstrating the human capacity of change and the power of community against a seemingly impossible challenge.
As the sea dies, we die, and the seas are dying. We're calling for a global ban on bottom trawling. Bottom trawling is dragging nets and chains along the sea floor. It's one of the most harmful forms of fishing. Global aviation has less emissions than bottom trawling. Now, the problem is, as well as taking out all of the habitat and destroying that, so that takes decades to recover, it also releases the huge amounts of blue carbon, which is the carbon, like the soil at the bottom of the sea. By releasing that, the emissions from bottom trawling are greater than global aviation. That's why we're calling for an outright ban immediately on this most harmful form of fishing.
Thank you.
It's time for resolute and decisive action, and the people with the power and the authority must act now, because death is already with us.
But then, yeah, what's going to happen with one and they're there to be do a lot of drawing. Yeah, do fine details. It's weird, it's like using a spray that's a bit more precise. Yeah. I just slow.
Climate change isn't just something that's happening to polar bears and coral reefs in the distant future. Climate change is here, it's in Cornwall, and it's happening now.
We had a 10-foot wall outside our house, so we didn't expect the wave to ever come right through the window.
Nearly every property was badly affected. The people who owned them are not there now.
We can be lulled into a false sense of security because Cornwall's so special, but we don't actually realise what we've lost already.
I don't want to be of a generation that says, oh, I did nothing.